English 112, Miss Brewer for your, what's this, week 6 lecture video. So we're going to move away from MLA format this week, and we're going to move into research documentation in APA format. When you guys do this format, you're going to have two written assignments, an annotated bibliography in APA format, and a literature review, which is a different style of writing. And when we get to that, we'll talk about how you shift your writing to meet that particular requirement. So this week, I just want to go over what is APA, what your assignments are going to be, and you're going to be researching on a social issue topic. This research and the annotated bibliography that you write this week, you will use the same research for both your annotated bibliography this week and your literature review next week. So all the research that you do, you will be using these articles for the rest of the semester. So if you will, just go ahead and open up the first link, which is the American Psychological Association course lecture. And this kind of explains to you how things are different than APA. The layout requirements, the documentation requirements, we're making a change from MLA format to APA format. So first of all, basically what you're looking at are page design, the way that you set up your paper, and research, the way that you document your paper. APA uses a different citation format, both in their references section and in their in-text citations. They still use parenthetical citations, but the information that goes inside the parentheses is different. So let's start with page design. And if you've opened up Moodle, you can follow along with me. So for APA format, you will utilize a title page for all assignments in APA format. You will include a header, but the header will only have the page number. You don't have to have your last name there anymore, so you only have to insert the page number. Just like in LA format, you'll need to make sure you change that page number to meet the Times New Roman 12-point font requirement for this course. So you have about a third of the way down the page, you're gonna have your title, the title of your paper in bold, and then there are 4 spaces, or if you're double spaced, 2 enters, between the title page and the rest of the information. So when you had the heading in MLA format, and that was only on your first page, now you're gonna have all that information on your title page. So you'll have your name, you will have the college that you're attending, so Lenore Community College, the course, my name, okay, so the instructor's name, and the date. And you can see exactly what that should look like right here in Moodle. If you scroll down, then you'll see research information. So here's where some things are going to be different. APA format is the American Psychological Association, so you're looking at your social sciences. When it comes to science, dates are super important. So you obviously would not be utilizing medical information or, things like that from the 1970s because tons of things have changed. So APA format puts a big emphasis on dates, and you can tell the full citation because the full citation has the authors listed and then the date. And in your parenthetical citations, you will also be including the date, the year. Okay, so we'll talk about that in just a second. So on your references page, you will have, so that's another change too. You no longer have a works cited, you now have references. And you'll put your entire citation there. We are utilizing the LRC only for this research, so there's no reason why your citations should not be correct because you can get your citations straight from that source, and I'm going to talk about how to do that. In your document, you will still use parenthetical citations. You will use parenthetical citations for direct quotes, for paraphrasing, and for summarizing information. And really for the literature review, you're not going to do a whole lot of direct quotes, but you are going to do a lot of summarizing and paraphrasing of information from the articles. So you can see a printed news article. This actually shows you exactly what should go in your citation if you want to create them yourself, but you don't have to do that. But then in the parenthetical citation, unlike MLA format, where you just used author's last name, page number, or first couple of words, page number, but no commas or anything like that, for APA format, you will use that first couple of words again, which is generally the author's, comma, and then the year, comma, and then a P period and the page number that you got the information from. So your in-text citations are going to change drastically. There's a little APA poster link at the bottom of this page, and if you click on that, this gives the overview of all of the things APA. So it's a really nice kind of resource to have. If you want to print it out, then you can have it with you as we continue to work through all of our APA assignments. So I'm going to go back to this week's assignments and this week's information. Let's open up assignment details. So here's what we're doing. You guys wrote a literary analysis last week, analyzing the poetry, looking for a common theme. And I told you guys that that common theme, you're going to try to find some sort of a social issue that relates to that theme. And that's what you're going to choose to research for your assignments for the upcoming weeks. So you're going to choose a social issue to research. We're forgetting about the poetry for these assignments. You don't talk about the poetry. We're not researching the poetry. We're not talking about poetry anymore. We are researching a social issue. Factual, scholarly articles is what you're looking for, okay? So you're going to research the social issue. For instance, let's say I analyzed the theme of racial injustice in the couple of poems that I analyzed for my MLA paper for the literary analysis. Now I'm going to actually research the issue of social injustice, or racial injustice, and I may need to get more specific. I may have to say racial injustice in the criminal justice system. I might have to say in the healthcare field, okay? You're probably going to have to narrow it down a little bit and be a little bit more specific when you choose your social issue. The assignments for this, you're going to do an annotated bibliography this week. Then you'll write a literature review next week. And then finally, you will do a business style. We'll talk about business writing, and you will do APA formatted business presentation at the end of the semester. If you want to look at some social issues, you can use these links here, but you probably already have an idea of what you want to look into. These might just help you narrow your search a little bit. So those are the assignments that we're working on. This week, you guys are going to be working on your annotated bibliographies. So I'm going to skip the LRC link, and I'm going to open up the annotated bibliography link. And this is the course lecture here. So here's the deal with your annotated bibliography. First of all, you probably have already written an annotated bibliography in English 111, but that was in MLA format. So the annotated bibliography in APA format has the exact same purpose, okay? The purpose of an annotated bibliography is to compile and organize your research. The purpose of an annotated bibliography is to compile and organize your research, okay? So in your annotated bibliography, you're going to have two things. You're going to have the citation, the source, the full citation. It will be in APA format. It will be a hanging indentation. It will be double spaced. All right. And then underneath the source, you're going to have your annotation. Okay. So your annotation is going to be comprised of three different things. The annotation is going to be comprised of the summary, where you summarize the source. So you're going to read that article. You actually have to read these articles to write a literature review, so make sure you're reading them. You're going to read that article, and you're going to summarize the points of that article in 1 to 2 sentences. Okay, so it's a very quick summary, overview of the main points of the article in your own words, of course. And then after the summary, what I want you to do is I want you to evaluate the credibility. So sometimes you can incorporate the evaluation of your credibility within those 1 to 2 sentences for the summary. The way that you evaluate the credibility is you simply state that they utilized, a research study or statistics from these particular things, or the graphs and the data, or how did they present the information in the article that made it credible. And you don't have to say this is credible because, all right? So in my summary, I might say, this article reviews statistics of racial injustice in the criminal justice system. It focuses on police brutality, utilizing statistics and data from this particular thing. Okay, that tells me it's credible, and it summarizes it in 2 sentences. And then finally, you're going to identify how that would be used for research. What you will not do is say, I will use this in research, because we don't write with personal pronouns. This is still a formal assignment. So you would say something like, this article could be used to provide evidence of inequity in police brutality for young men of color from this age to this age, whatever is in the article, okay? So make sure that that's how you're writing your annotation. Your annotation should be 3 to 5 sentences. It should not be a whole page. It should not be just one sentence, okay? At least 3, okay, to 5. And then make sure that for your annotated bibliography that you include a title page, and then also you'll need to write an abstract. So the first page of your annotated bibliography will be a title page. The second page, you will have an abstract. It will say abstract at the top, and you will write a short paragraph. What is in the abstract? The abstract is the overview of whatever that particular paper is. So since you guys are writing an annotated bibliography and you are annotating 7 different articles, your abstract would just review what were the main points from those articles. Where can you find that? In the summary that you wrote for each annotation. So just pull that information. You know, this annotated bibliography reviews the topic of whatever. It covers this, and this on this topic. So your abstract is usually like 150 to 250 words. It's not long. And that's the only thing that goes on page 2. And then starting on page 3, you do your annotated bibliography. It says annotated bibliography at the top. And then you organize your annotated bibliography by alphabetical order. And remember, you're using hanging indentations. So you have the first line is flush left. Every line after that, you indent. All right. And I want you to keep your annotation indented. So you would not come back out until you get to the next citation. And we organize those in ABC order, alphabetical order, okay? And you need 7 articles. So you want to get to researching as soon as possible and get to reading those articles so you can write the annotation. So going back into this week, we just covered APA format. We just covered kind of the differences between APA format and MLA format. We talked about what is your annotated bibliography. There are some questions and answers about the annotated bibliography. There is a video about creating an annotated bibliography, and I am providing you guys with a student example of an annotated bibliography for APA 7th edition, which is what we are in, okay? So you can see what the title page looks like, you can see what an abstract looks like, you can see what the citations look like, and what the annotations look like. So make sure you review that. So finally, what I want to just kind of go over with you guys is where you're going to get your research. And there's a link here for the library databases. I highly encourage you to use NC Live for your research. So you'll just click on this link and then you can type in your social issue. And we'll use the NC Live database and then go ahead and type in your social issue. And then remember, when you find an article, you'll open it up. Make sure that you can have access to the full article. The other thing you want to think about is lengths of articles, because you have to find 7 articles for this assignment. You don't want them to all be 30 pages long. You don't want them to be 1 page, okay, but you don't want them to be 30. I would say a good average is anywhere between 3 or 4 and like 15. If you have a renegade 20-page article, that's fine, but try to keep them on the lower end if you can, so you're not having a ton of reading to do this week. But it's imperative that you only find articles from this database, okay? And make sure that you can utilize that cite option. And when you do that, change it. So you have to do the little drop-down box. Make sure it's not an MLA format. Make sure it's an APA 7th edition, okay? What else do I want to go over with you guys today? So here's the thing. Your attendance assignment this week is actually to email me. You need to email me before you start your annotated bibliography. Email me the answers to these questions. What social issue are you going to focus on? Why did you select this social issue? What is in the poem? So that you're going to write me a brief email, okay? And then make sure that you can find the information on this topic. So make sure that you can locate 1 or 2 articles, and I want you to give me those citations in the email. So you're going to write me a brief email. The sooner you do it, the better, because I'm going to respond to you and approve that topic. So shoot me an email, say, hey, my social issue is going to be racial inequity in the criminal justice system. I'm going to focus on police brutality. I saw this in the battle of the landlord, of course. This is an issue in society today because of these reasons. And then 2 APA citations on articles that you found. Try to get that email into me by like Monday night, Tuesday night, okay? That's really important so I can go ahead and approve you. And then The other assignment that you're going to do is write your annotated bibliography. Please use Grammarly before you turn this into me. Make sure you're reviewing for grammar. It's a formal assignment. And then your Journal 6 is due by Sunday, and that's your midterm reflection. If you have questions, please reach out, ask. I'll be happy to assist you. I hope you enjoy researching. It's the social issue of your choice.